Get ready to hear the truth about America on a show that's not immune to the facts with your host, Dan Bongino.
These guys are funny and make me laugh. This one's totally on me. We were just going through some mechanics before the show, logistical stuff. And they're like, well, you're muted and, you hear all this other stuff. But by the way, when the music starts playing, your mic is live. I'm like, really? He's like, it's only been like 10 years. Like, you didn't know that? I'm like, no, I didn't. I'm glad I don't have anything to worry about where I'd say anything different when the mic is live. You probably heard me in the intro of the show go, oh, it is? That was me. Yeah, I didn't even know that. But thank you guys for letting me know. I got a monster show for you today. As always, you come back on Monday. There's so much to talk about. Let me just tell you what we will not be talking about today. I just want you to know. Why would I tell you what we're not talking about? Just don't talk about it. Because if you're here for Super Bowl coverage or Kendrick Lamar or the halftime show, there's a space and a time for that. That's not what I do. I legit don't care. I give you a weekend update on Monday. Today is short. It has nothing to do with the Super Bowl. So I'm just warning you to be friendly, not to be a jerk. I am not covering any of it. I just don't care. The only thing I care about is Auburn basketball, and we dropped a big L to the Gators this weekend. It was hard to watch, so I'm not in a mood. Big show today. I will touch on briefly this Josh Shapiro thing, Bongino rule. Please. Today's show is sponsored by Beam. Go to shopbeam.com/Bongino. Get a good night's sleep. Use code Bongino for 47% off your first order. Today's show also brought to you by Patriot Mobile. While we may have won the election, the fight to restore our great nation's only beginning. Now's the time to take a stand, and Patriot Mobile's leading the charge. As America's only Christian conservative wireless provider, Patriot Mobile offers a way to vote with your wallet without compromising on quality or convenience. Patriot Mobile isn't just about providing exceptional cell phone service. It's a call to action to defend our rights and our freedoms. With Patriot Mobile, you'll get outstanding nationwide coverage because they operate on all three major networks. If you have cell phone service today, you can get cell phone service with Patriot Mobile with a coverage guarantee. The difference is every dollar you spend with Patriot Mobile supports a company that believes in the First and Second Amendments, the sanctity of life, and our veterans and first responders. Switching's easy. Keep your number, keep your phone, or upgrade. Your 100% U.S.-based customer support team will help you find the perfect plan. So right now, go to patriotmobile.com/Dan or call 972-PATRIOT and get a free month of service with promo code Dan. Switch to Patriot Mobile today and defend freedom with every call and text you make. That's patriotmobile.com/Dan or call 972-PATRIOT. All right, fellas, let's go for the Monday morning bell. Happy to be back with you, by the way. Thank you again, making us number one 10 working days in a row, the number one live streamer in the United States. We love you guys. Thank you, Bongino Army. You guys are the best. This show continues to grow as the deep state Twitter accounts and other trying to take us down continue to writhe in pain as we defeat them one by one. This show continues to expand its footprint, and I love you guys for it. You are the most powerful force in the MAGA space. Thank you very much. Okay, quick weekend update. Here it is. I didn't do anything, but I did go to a cool restaurant. There was a restaurant over in Stewart I love. It just opened up. It was amazing. My friend opened it, Pez Vela. Really good. I just bring it up because, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not a sushi roll kind of guy. I don't like sushi rolls. I just like plain old raw fish. I don't even like the rice on the damn thing. I just like to wolf it down. I had a sushi roll for like the first time kind of like ever. And man, was it good in this place, Pez Vela. So shout out to my friend Lou, who just opened it. If you guys are sushi roll fans, apparently Michael says Avita. For the great Avita Duffy, he's a huge sushi roll fan. I just figured out the glories of these things this weekend. If I have to turn in my man card, it's okay. Bongino, take a vote in the chat. They were really good. It had like some salmon and some avocado and stuff like that, and it was pretty darn good, so I liked it. But getting to the important stuff. I've seen the story about Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro and allegations he may have been involved in the Butler assassination plot against President Trump. If there was ever an opportunity to invoke the Bongino rule, ever, I am begging you to invoke it now. Folks, this appears to me, from having been a law enforcement officer myself, to be just a standard criminal complaint anyone can make. Meaning, we don't know if it's true or not. All we're saying is somebody said something. I'm just asking you to hold on this. They are some explosive allegations, but without hardcore evidence to back it up. Big allegations require big evidence. I'm always under the assumption that you're being played, we're being played, until people prove to me otherwise. That's why I invoked the Bongino rule. They want you to run with some of this stuff, just like these deep state accounts that promote these liberal talking points because they want to use it later to discredit you. Like, look at these suckers. They fell for that. So nobody knows yet. Everybody hold. My sources have no indication yet that let's just, when I get something from sources, I'll let you know. We'll just leave it there, okay? You get what I'm saying? I've seen it. The Bongino rule always serves you well. Big charges and allegations require big evidence. All right, got me? Folks, we have a significant movement today. And when I say significant, I mean significant. Sorry, looking at the feedback from the chat. 92,000 already. Yes. Love you guys. We have had movement in the dopey media talking head Olympics. This is a huge day. We haven't made a final decision yet because I just brought this up to the guys. But you will be amazed at which the speed. Look at you in the chat with Karate Man. I love you guys. You guys make me laugh. And ladies, I mean guys generically, you know? You get what I'm saying? I'm not like a liberal. We don't need to make the distinction. Margaret Brennan from CBS is moving at such a rapid pace in the dopey media talking head Olympics. I've never seen this kind of thing in my life. It kind of reminds me of Rocky IV. Like Rocky was retired. He wasn't even doing anything. Drago kills Apollo Creed and he just goes to Russia and in 2 weeks he's ready to fight this wrecking ball Drago. This is Margaret Brennan on the mountain. Drago! Remember the scene? Drago! This is Margaret. Mags is moving at light speed. I have never seen anything like this. Gee, cue up the clip if you would. Here is Margaret Brennan for like the third weekend in a row, making an utter ass out of herself in front of a national television audience with Senator Bill Hagerty claiming we're not funding sex changes and gender identity stuff in Guatemala. She could have just looked it up. But Mags is just too dumb because she's training her. Drago! Play the cut.
I've asked them to be very clear about, for example, their role funding Hamas in Gaza. They would not comply. They will not tell us what they do. Now that we start to find out some of the programs that AID has been funding, if you think about it, sex change operations in Guatemala, LGBTQ programs in Serbia,
the U.S.
this is
government
ridiculous.
does not
This is
fund
so beyond
sex
the pale.
change operations or fund Hamas. You know that, though. But you sit on...
That is not true, Margaret. I couldn't get the Secretary of State. I asked him 3 times to tell me that we were not funding Hamas through AID. He couldn't do it. And frankly, what we found is that we've been funding as American taxpayers organizations. Do you have any evidence that the United States government is funding a terrorist group? Certainly, the funds that have gone to UNRWA. You saw the UNRWA members who were also
UNRWA
Hamas members going in an attack on...
UNRWA is part of the United Nations.
UNRWA is supporting terrorist groups. And if you look at what UNRWA has done, it's been so counter to our national interest. It's unbelievable that we would fund it.
Oh, my. Have you ever seen a journalist so bad at her job than this utter buffoon? Guy and producer Jim are putting together a whole package for Margaret. Again, producer Jim, get the trophy ready. The bronze medal, please. Have it inscribed. Margaret, we will just provide us a delivery spot. It can be a P.O. box, but you have easily displaced Jonathan Karl, that you are so stupid that you just could have looked this up on usaspending.gov. Cooperative agreement, USAID, activity to strengthen trans-led organizations to deliver gender-affirming health care and advocate for improved quality and access to services and economic empowerment opportunities. Oh, look, where's that? Guys, where is that? The country? I can't really read that. My eyes are really bad. This is Guatemala? Oh, Guatemala. He said, it said Guatemala. Michael's like, I think it's Guatemala. I'm not sure. I'm terrible with geography. Oh, look at these guys. How do you guys got these fancy little features I don't even know about? That's why I hired these guys. Look at Guatemala. Otherwise, it was Guatemala. That's shit, man. It was like it's like Mags just could have looked it up. And UNRWA, they've never ever had a problem with terrorists infiltrating their ranks. Of course, she could have just looked that up too. But because Mags is so freaking stupid, she can barely do her job. What are you looking at? Yeah, he's wondering. He's looking. He just comes around here, right? He's looking at the prompter, and he doesn't know I have really good eyes, which is crazy. I can't hear for shit. My muscles don't work. My joints are broken. But you want to look too? No. Here, just take a little shot of it for everyone. Here, say hello, Justin, to the audience. Everybody knows you're here. Not your hand. You got to put your face. They want to see what you look like. Have you ever seen Justin? He's like 75 feet tall. Hey, look, his producer. Take a picture, put it on the show. Yes, I have good eyes. That's it. That's all I have. Guatemala, Mags. It's right there. It's right there. Folks, follow the money. The reason last week's shows went freaking bananas is because... Hold on. I should put this away. Oh, my goodness. Shit falling all over the place. I wrote a book called Follow the Mother Money. Although we didn't have the money. I've been covering this forever. How your tax dollars have been flushed into deep state world globalist accounts that are using it to F you over, man. All Mags had to do, Margaret Brennan, is look it up. Follow the money. Democrats are dying on this USAID hill, folks, because it's the deep state's bank account. That's why this isn't hard. Man, if there was ever a time to put one of the many Bongino rules of the show tattooed on your cerebral cortex, it is this one. Always measure the impact of something you're doing by the degree of the enemy, the political enemies, and believe me, these are enemies of the United States, response. The political enemies of the United States are at a level 10 freakout over USAID, which means it's a level 10 effectiveness in shutting the deep state down. None of this is hard. They are freaking out. I wrote it here. They are dying on this hill because their entire financial lives being funded by USAID and taxpayers to censor us and engage in anti-American activities is about to dry up. Let me ask you a question in the chat. Bongino on the case here. Folks, do you really believe that the communists and socialists and enemies of liberty and freedom around the world are in this for the ideology? No, I'm serious. Take a second and think about that. Do you actually believe people like Bernie Sanders and others would continue doing what they're doing if they weren't getting rich doing it? I'm dead serious. Okay. No, thank you. Bongino's shutting down you guys are shutting the chat down. Folks, there's money in communism. Dan, that's backwards. No, I'm telling you the truth. Communism is very lucrative for the commies because they get to control the means of production. That's the fucking definition of communism, man. Government control of the means of production. Factories, farm output, money. Where do you think the money goes? People still do stuff in communism. They have to stay alive. But the old joke was they pretend to work, the government pretends to pay you. Follow the money. Trump and Elon are doing, I said this last week, the clip went viral, hat tip Mario Nafal and others who put it out there. Thank you. Elon Musk's contribution to liberty and freedom. Tesla's great company. He's a capitalist. Fine. SpaceX, this guy's a genius. Starlink, great, all great products. X, can't thank him enough for freeing up X. I'm telling you, what he's doing right now, shutting down the deep state bank account, is going to be 10x more important than any of that other stuff. It's all great. It's unbelievable. The guy's a capitalist. The Carnegie of our time or whatever. I'm just telling you what he's doing to shut the deep state bank accounts down now. The piggy bank, the money laundering, the spying, the regime change around the world and here that's happening with your money is 10x more important. Folks, there is big money in this. Do you understand the budget was in the tens of billions of dollars? For the dumbasses out there on the left going, the government spends $6 trillion, 40 billion, 10 billion, 40 billion. That's not a lot of money. Really? Kamala's entire presidential campaign was $1.5 billion. You're telling me 40 billion a year, you can't change global politics? Give me a break, bro. You guys remember this from Maria Bartiromo's show? Here's a clip, a real journalist, Maria Bartiromo, unlike this dipshit Margaret Brennan, right? Maria Bartiromo had James Comer on. I want you to listen to the amount of payments Comer found going to the Biden family. Dan, why are we talking about the Biden family? Because it's not about the Biden family. The Biden family is a small piece of corrupt politicians making bank and getting rich off your tax dollars and places like USAID that launder it. That's why. The amounts here are stunning of global payment flows flowing to all of these people. I'm not telling you these payments are from USAID. These are from China and other places. I'm simply telling you that the Biden family, if, again, you read chapter 1 of my book, Insane in Ukraine, in my book, Follow the Money, you will see Ukraine was a significant beneficiary of some of these payment systems too, and some of the same money was flushed back to the Biden crew. There's big money in this. Watch this.
Back in March, Comer sent this letter to Biden. Quote, the committee has accounted for over $24 million that has flowed from foreign sources to you, your family, and their business associates. The committee has identified no legitimate services to merit such lucrative payments. You have repeatedly denied playing any role in your family's business activities, but the committee has amassed evidence, including bank records and witness testimony, that wholly contradicts your position on these matters. The committee has identified and successfully traced money from foreign transactions, including from China, straight to your bank accounts. Certain checks have been described as loan repayments. However, the person who provided you free bookkeeping during your time as vice president did not remember any evidence of a loan from your accounts.
Folks, do you see the amount of money flowing around the globe to pay off corrupt politicians, deep state bureaucrats, and other general scumbags getting rich off your money? $40 billion is a ton of money, okay? This is huge. Now does the leftist response make sense? This money trail is real. I'm going to show you something coming up. I'm going to play this clip. Hold on, before the break. I'm going to show you something, though, after the break involving Samantha Power and other deep state swamp rats. And you're going to see how all of this is tied together. Money, censorship, Spygate, collusion hoax, regime change here at home. That's what collusion and the Spygate saga were about. I'll show you. The evidence is right in front of your face. You just got to look at it. I've been writing about this for years. It's a passion project. First, I want to play this. Here, these two absolute life losers, Kara Swisher. And by the way, Kara, stop asking me. I'm not coming on your show. You're absolutely crazy. And someone passed information to me about you that was really disturbing. I am never coming on your show now, okay? I was considering it. Someone told me something about you, about your character. So that's why it's not about but just how awful of a person you are. And as someone I really trust who's not really that I am never coming on your show. So stop asking. Here is this lunatic, Kara Swisher, and this guy, Scott Galloway, whatever his name is. Because Doge is uncovering massive amounts of corruption, you would think these leftists who believe in big government would be interested in funding actual good projects to make government look good. They don't seem to care at all. They want people arrested. This actually happened. Check this out.
I want to know who their names are, and I want to see Democratic governors saying, I'm going to do everything I can in my power to use the full faith and to the letter of the law to put you folks in prison. I think what you're doing is trespassing. I think this is a coup. And be clear, just because the new insurrectionist who was elected, I don't believe this is legal. And I'm going to hold the people accountable who are trespassing and part of a coup accountable. To just sit back and say this is horrible and this is unlawful, we need to go gangster here.
Gangster. Gangsters terrorize and murder people. You understand how on the left, this kind of sociopathic nutbag response from two lunatics, the other dipshit laughing, this is totally acceptable? Republicans, seriously, MAGA people, do not try this at home. I mean it. If you were to go on a show and suggest we go gangster on anyone, you would probably have had a Biden-led FBI team at your door tomorrow, or a Secret Service operation, because these are left-wing, absolute life loser dipshits. I'm not coming on your shit show. Stop asking. Don't make me put the emails out there. I called her a fungus because she won't go away. I don't go on shows with freaking sociopaths. People arrested who are uncovering massive fraud. Are you crazy? Got a little bit more on this coming up. Don't go anywhere. Quick break, right back to the show. And then I want to get to that other piece that's going to blow your mind. There's a reason people are tuning in here. Hey, during tax season, your sensitive data does a lot of traveling to places you can't control. Stopping off at payroll, your accountant, a tax preparer, and countless others, data centers as well as on the way to the IRS. Folks, you do not want your identity stolen. It happened to me. It was a total train wreck. It took me about a year to clean up. Listen, any of these things can expose you to identity theft because they have info on your W-2, just a ticket for criminals to steal your identity. No wonder the IRS reported tax fraud due to identity theft went up 20% last year. Get LifeLock. They monitor millions of data points per second. They alert you to threats you could miss. I've gotten countless texts from them saying, did you approve this? If your identity is stolen, LifeLock's U.S.-based restoration specialist will fix it, backed by the $1 million protection pledge. So don't wait. Restoration is guaranteed or your money back. Simple deal. Don't let identity thieves take you for a ride. Get LifeLock protection for tax season and beyond. So join now and save up to 40% in your first year. That's a big savings. Call 1-800-LifeLock. Use promo code Bongino. Do it today. Or go to lifelock.com/Bongino, lifelock.com/Bongino for 40% off. Terms apply. Don't get your identity stolen. I'm telling you, it was a big nightmare. Happened to me. Folks, I keep telling you, follow the money trail. This is not a difficult case. This is super easy to understand. The federal government steals your money in the form of excessive tax payments. They're using these tax payments to fund this organization that has done everything in its power to fund anti-American censorship activities and regime change around the world. And they don't want you to see it. That's why they're freaking out. And these two lunatics want people arrested for figuring it out. Here's Politico. They had to get involved too. Activist judges are making up law now. Judge orders sweeping restrictions on Doge access to sensitive Treasury payment systems. This isn't even real. This judge, air quotes, just made this up. Did you read the ruling? They don't even really cite any kind of law or anything. He makes up some connection to the Administrative Procedures Act. This is just a fairy tale. This is how desperate they are to stop this thing, to stop you from seeing the money trail and where your money went. By the way, big interview today with the great Mike Benz, deep state specialist, who's going to make an appearance later in this show, who's been uncovering this for a long time on my radio show today. So you can check that out here on Rumble. The last hour is available on Locals if you want to sub. Okay? Or you can just listen on your local radio station. Folks, your government has been using your money to censor and engage in regime change around the world. It is not a conspiracy theory. It's not a bad Will Smith movie. This is actually happening. I'm going to show it to you right now in just one small case how this works. I want you to listen to this first. Here is a USAID funded operation. It's called Internews. It's Internews, air quotes. It's everything you think it is. USAID, there's been some funds here that have been cross-pollinated with Internews. Here is the head of Internews, Jeanne Bergault, whatever. I'm sorry for saying your name wrong. It's not intentional. I don't really care. Notice how she talks about disinformation and exclusion lists. Your taxpayer dollars are funding a lot of this. Disinformation is code word for censorship and conservative ideas. Exclusion list means any conservative website, podcast, or whatever, we're going to make sure no advertiser puts their stuff on there because we just don't like your politics. Listen to this.
Disinformation makes money, and that's one of the, we need to follow that money, and we need to work with the, and particularly the global advertising industry, that a lot of those dollars go to pretty bad content. And so you can work really hard on exclusion lists or inclusion lists to sort of really try to focus ad dollars and challenge the global advertising industry all around the world to focus their ad dollars towards the good news and information, the accurate and relevant news and information.
So if you follow the money, multiple chapters worth of it, you will see your money has been used to fund these exclusion lists and censorship regimes disguised as disinformation for years, if not decades now. You ever wonder if you have a conservative website, how programmatic ad CPMs are really low, yet you go to a liberal website that promotes ridiculous conspiracy theories like the collusion hoax, and they seem to be doing fine. Do you ever wonder how that happened? Your tax dollars funded it, bro. That's how it happened. People got rich off this, censoring you. These organizations got millions in your money to censor you. It's hilarious, by the way, how this lady says we need to follow the money. That's exactly what Elon's doing. Don't follow the money to us. I want you to listen to this here. This is really important. This is Samantha Power. Samantha Power is a huge deep state swamp rat of the highest order. She is an Obama Clintonista acolyte. She has been knee deep in tremendous political scandals, and I don't mean that in a qualitatively good way. Here is Samantha Power when she was USAID administrator on, quote, I want you to listen to this, on influencing, quote, strategically important elections. Notice how I laid this out. I played for you the Internews lady talking about exclusion lists, who has a tie to this. They have a tie to this money flow. So we're talking about censorship and regime change, which your tax dollars funded. Here's the regime change component. USAID basically admitting it under Samantha Power. Listen to this.
Authoritarians have grown increasingly clever in manipulating elections, something that we see them do in their own countries, but often also abroad, as we know too well. In the 2020s, that's where we are right now, most elections are not stolen by flagrantly stuffing ballot boxes or throwing opponents in jail. They are subtly undermined, discredited, or tilted in an incumbent's favor, often years before Election Day. Contemporary tactics, like cyber hacks, false information on social media, and questionable regulations, have undermined elections all over the world. USAID and other development agencies have supported elections for decades, but we have not always kept up with these pernicious methods, it's fair to say. That's why since the Summit for Democracy, we have gathered the world's leading organizations that support electoral integrity, some of whom are here today, both governmental and non-governmental, to form a coalition for securing election integrity.
A coalition for securing election integrity for strategically important elections. That's code word for how do we steal elections. They did the same thing here. Your money is funding, keep the 2 points in mind. Light it up in the chat. Your money is funding two things, and this is why they're freaking out. Censorship of you, which they need to do. They can't have you speaking out. And regime change because they don't want fair elections. Because then what do you get? You get a Donald Trump. Where am I going with this Samantha Power thing? Folks, Samantha Power is knee deep in the Obama-Biden decades plus long corruption scheme, okay? Do you remember this scandal about Samantha Power? Keep in mind, she was knee-deep in USAID and all this money and influencing elections, regime change, right? The Hill, look at the date on this. Remember The Hill and John Solomon parted ways because John Solomon was exposing a bunch of stuff and then he left and departed. The Hill issued some, we're sorry for his work or whatever kind of crap. This is why Solomon and them probably didn't move forward. Unmasker-in-chief Samantha Power. Dan, that's the same woman we just saw. Yes, it is. Spewed anti-Trump bias in government emails. The date's 2019. Quote, it turns out Samantha Power, the diplomat whose authority inexplicably was used to unmask hundreds of Americans' names in secret intelligence reports during the 2016 election, engaged in similar Trump bashing on her official email. Unmasking. You guys know what unmasking is? Do you remember? Again, wrote about this in multiple books here. What the government was doing is it was using the foreign intelligence database the FBI and others had access to that was supposedly designed. This is why I hate FISA law so much in 702 and can't stand it when it's abused. They were using the database designed to spy on foreign terrorists. Fine, okay, whatever. I don't want terrorists attacking the United States. They have no constitutional rights. They're foreigners overseas. But if you were talking to an American, they have to unmask your identity. What the hell was Samantha Power's name being used to unmask a bunch of people? You know what reverse targeting is, folks? It's when, say, Michael's talking to someone overseas, and you don't really care about the person overseas. You care about Michael. So you pretend you're targeting the person overseas, and then you unmask Michael and go, oh, look what happened. Look what we found out. You understand the Obama team was using unmasking to spy on Americans, using this FISA loophole of unmasking to uncover their political enemies and other people like this? That's what the whole collusion hoax was about. Trump knows about all of this. They're protecting Obama with this USAID money. They are unmasking U.S. citizens using aid money and everything. These are the same people. These scandals are all related, folks. All of them. The same players, Power, that was involved in unmasking, collusion, Spygate, all of this stuff, are the exact same people involved in the USAID money scandal Trump and Elon uncovered. It's the same group of people. This is why liberals chose this hill to die on. If they can't do regime change and censorship, there's not going to be a liberal movement. I got more coming up, including Mike Benz. Senator Joni Ernst found something out, plus one, minus. You know how that works. A lot more ahead. Don't go anywhere. Got a big show left. Have you ever seen the news? Have you seen the news lately? Some economists forecasting a depression, not a recession, by 2030. We could be in the perfect storm if Social Security entitlements and Medicare hit a breaking point with the largest generation hitting retirement. A smaller workforce usually means a smaller tax base. Pair that with the growing national debt, a rising cost of living, and we got a big problem. So what are you doing now to protect your family for the future? Gold has been a safe haven asset in hard economic times, and Birch Gold makes it easy to diversify a portion of your savings into physical gold. Birch Gold will help you transition an existing IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold, and it doesn't cost you a penny out of pocket. Protect your future today. Text Dan to 989898. Get your free info kit on gold and a copy of the Ultimate Guide for Gold in the Trump Era with a foreword by Donald Trump Jr. There's no obligation, only information. I buy my gold from Birch Gold. You can trust them too. So text my name, Dan, to the number 989898 today. Message and data rates apply. Thank you, Birch Gold. And our last sponsor, before we get back to the show, is Helix. After a long day of work, I look forward to sleeping on my Helix mattress. I've had 2 of them now. I'm on my second one. No more tossing and turning. You have minor pains like I do. You snore. You sleep too hot or too cold. Go to Helix. HelixSleep.com/Dan. Just look at the mattress. They got a mattress that'll work best for you. It's been helping me get well rested. I know you've seen me with a lot of energy during the show. It's because I'm sleeping like a champion lately. You can probably see the difference. So right now, get Helix's best offer available, exclusive for my listeners, 27% off site-wide, plus 2 free Dream pillows with any mattress purchase. That's a great deal. Get any Luxe or Elite mattress order, and you get a free bedding bundle that includes 2 Dream pillows, a sheet set, and a mattress protector. That's helixsleep.com/Dan. The official mattress of the Bongino Army, for 27% off site-wide, plus 2 free Dream pillows with any mattress purchase. HELIX. With any Luxe or Elite mattress order, you get a free bedding bundle, 2 free Dream pillows, a sheet set, and a mattress protector. Again, go today, helixsleep.com/Dan. Thanks, Helix. You've been with us a long time. We appreciate it. Folks, they are going to die on this hill because of censorship and regime change. I want you to watch how MSNBC... They're going to try this. No one believes it anymore. It honestly makes no difference at all, but they're going to try it. When the left has nothing else, right? They've tried everything else. People are going to die. You're throwing grandma off a cliff. You're stopping cancer research. All of their tricks, what do they go to? Anybody in the chat know? Where do they go when they've run out of all available political weapons? Anyone get it? I need you guys in the chat because I love you guys. I want to see who gets it first. Yes. Scott, the American, 1776. Yes, sir. He says, you call them a racist. That is how you know. Target, you are over the target. Here is MSNBC, of course, a clown network for goofballs and losers. Here's MSNBC trying a race card, hoping that this last minute, get the righty out of the bullpen. The lefty in their case. Get the lefty, who's the lefty? John Franco. Get the lefty out of the bullpen. They are hoping and praying to stop the rock from being uncovered. USAID stuff. Check this out.
Can we talk about where this war on USAID even came from?
It's crazy. So they didn't talk about this during the campaign. You didn't hear a word about
Not one.
USAID. I read about this just a couple days ago. In December, Joe Rogan has a guest on who's like a crazy right-winger, allegedly crazy, I guess I have to say, in this day and age, who is like a white nationalist, self-proclaimed white nationalist influencer. And he goes on and talks all about how the Foreign Service and USAID in particular is a hive of criminality, and he's a conspiracy theorist. And who's listening to Rogan in that episode? It's Elon Musk. This is the first time that Elon has heard of USAID.
Notice how this all-white panel, by the way, it sits there and is talking. They're talking about Mike Benz, who will be on my radio show later today, so please don't miss that. They're talking about Mike Benz. So because Mike Benz has been uncovering and doing unbelievable work on the deep state, these assholes on this network are not remotely interested in the information Benz has. Did you notice that? They're interested in ad hominem, fake, phony, racist attacks, which, by the way, no one believes. So as a big double-barreled middle finger to the MSNBC assholes who thought it was a good idea, we are going to give Mike Benz another platform today to stick it to you losers just because you tried to shut him up, okay? What are they trying to shut him up about? Here's Mike Benz on Twitter. I want you to listen to me very closely, he says. When the CEO of USAID's Internews, that lady you saw before, pressured advertisers to create exclusion lists to only fund approved news sources, she was carrying out USAID's formal policy goal to have USAID partners do advertiser outreach to, quote, redirect funding. Notice how this asshole on the MSNBC channel, who, by the way, may have some serious legal concerns, calling Mike Benz, implying the guy's some kind of a racist. I don't know, but I'd encourage him to pursue all legal options. It's the only way. You got to create real material losses for these losers, or they don't understand. They don't understand. Notice how he doesn't address anything that Benz actually says in his tweet. The Internews lady is on video I just played for you talking about, in essence, censoring conservative political material, what's happened because of exclusion lists. There it is right there. You can see it on the screen. Folks, how bad was USAID and what they've been up to? It gets even worse. Senator Joni Ernst, who thankfully voted for Pete Hegseth, and, you know, we're always +1, -1. I don't get emotional about this stuff, and they shouldn't either. Apparently, Senator Joni Ernst has been looking into USAID for a long time. So good, we give you a +1. Like I said, I don't get emotional about anything. Here's an op-ed she wrote in the Wall Street Journal this weekend, and you should pay very close attention to it. USAID is a rogue agency. I want you to listen to this part. In case you think Elon's not onto something because you're delusional or on magic mushrooms or whatever, I faced the same stonewalling from USAID, Ernst noticed, when I asked about tax dollars being diverted from project missions to largely unrelated costs. The costs she describes, and they describe as the negotiated indirect cost rate. I want you to remember that term. USAID claimed it wasn't possible to track this. Ernst says, we debunked that. We provided their staff with a link to a public database. The agency fired back, basically threatening Senator Ernst's staff, saying divulging this information about negotiated indirect cost rates would violate federal law. What is the negotiated indirect cost rate? You want to get really pissed off? All right, like I said, I was like monitoring the chat to see how you guys feel about this. It's the grift rate. Apparently, USAID, put up the next screenshot so I can read ahead a little bit. Apparently, USAID is funding so many regime change, censorship, bullshit operations around the world, LGBTQIA, identity politics, anti-American activities, that the people involved, there's a grift factor. She notes audits uncovered that more than $1 million from the government were paid for a dangerous research. The bulk of the money provided by USAID, not Dr. Fauci. USAID evaded the obligation to report this transaction by using pass-through organizations, including EcoHealth Alliance, now barred from receiving U.S. government grants. Put this all together, what she's telling you. She's telling you with this negotiated indirect cost rate that the people who are the middlemen getting the money, they want a cut of this too. So our government pays in like a grift premium where the middleman gets paid off to do things like give money to anti-American causes like the freaking Wuhan lab. She's not implying that the grift rate applied to that case, but that's the carve out, the middleman, EcoHealth Alliance, to get to China. And then other people are getting paid off to distribute the funds. Folks, that's why you're seeing things like this weekend. Did you see the insurrection as the Democrats try to stop Elon Musk and others from looking at these payment systems? Why do you think they're losing their marbles? Why? Why are they humiliating themselves? Here, watch these losers who are saying now as they try to storm this building, oh, we're here looking out for parents and the kids in school. You had the FBI try to arrest parents for looking out for kids in school. What kind of bullshit story is this? Check this out.
For young women who have been victims of sexual assault in our classrooms, on our school grounds, members of OCR are fighting for your children. We are not allowed in the building to talk to them. We are not allowed to advocate on behalf of America's children. America, we have a problem. Now, everybody stand back.
These people are full of shit, full of it. These are the same liberal commies, who wanted you, parents, arrested for showing up at your kid's school board to question what was going on in your kid's school. Now, all of a sudden, we uncover the deep state piggy bank and the left is freaked out. We're looking out for parents in schools. You're not looking out for squat. Sit down and shut up. By the way, on a lighter note, this guy's a hero. Who is this guy? Can someone give this guy a medal, an award, a trophy? Did you see this guy? At the same building, stopping these absolute commie lunatics from going and look at this guy. We love you. Right, look at this guy. Stay right there. Listen for a second. You just stay and stay.
Why aren't you letting us go to that desk like we were able to do last year?
Watch.
He's not a U.S. employee. This is a public institution.
Look at these losers. A bunch of commies. Look at them. I love this guy. Whoever this guy is, who stood at the building door and stopped the commie horde from their insurrection on the building. We absolutely love this guy. That guy needs to be a meme from this point going forward. It'll be a great one. Right? Justin said it. The most you know, if you had that guy, the Dos Equis guy, the most interesting man in America. This is the most unbothered guy in D.C. He's like, yeah, you're not coming in. Why? Because you can't. Yeah. But look at you got Maxine Waters salivating, spitting all over. The guy's like, yeah, we're good. But stop spitting on me, please. It's kind of gross. Right. Now Maxine Waters, all of a sudden, she wants to see someone's ID. You can vote without ID. Maxine Waters loves that. This guy, she's demanding ID. I want to see ID. I want to see ID. You know what he's a professional. You know, he should have said that. Be like, sure, I'll show you ID when you guys prove ID to vote and engage in regime change around the world. Perfectly good showing. Oh, now you're fans of ID. Amazing. That was a good one. I didn't even catch that connection there. Folks, they are terrified of this. They are terrified of all of this. They are pulling out the race card and they are freaking out. I didn't get to it on Friday because I had a lot to talk about and the Bongino rule was in effect. But we did not get to celebrate, of course. Anyone in the chat know where I'm going with this, by the way? Anyone, how good of a feel do you guys have for me in the show? Like, we're all like a big family here. The Bongino Army, the McGroin crew. You guys, I think, really have kind of a good taste for what's going on in my cerebral cortex. What did I not talk about? Anybody know? What did I miss? Where am I going with this? Mike Benz, I'm reading the chat. Come on, someone. You guys are better at this than I am. You're actually good at my show. Let's see. Anyone get it? All right. No one yet. No, not Dick Durbin. Great Dan. Okay. All right. Big balls. How do we not talk about big balls? So most of you have heard the story by now about big balls. Apparently one of the Doge engineers, one of these whiz kids, had some tweet in the past. Of course, you know, the Democrats, who are the biggest racists ever, they want to discriminate based on skin color. That's what identity politics is, are horrified that some tweet, which was a bad tweet in the past by some guy who went by the thing, big balls. So, of course, the Democrats virtue signal, oh, my gosh, we can't have all of this stuff. The Democrats, who were the biggest racists ever, of course, went after and made big ball. This is, wait, you can't have three balls. There's only two. What you told me 3 for? So, in honor of big balls, Paula's going to go. She actually hates this, by the way, Paul, but it's okay because if there was ever a time, I think she'll understand. In honor of big balls, we are whipping out, yes, pun intended, the watermelon-sized balls and the grapefruit-sized balls. Although we have 2 grapefruits, but honestly, I think the watermelon, can you just pretend they're 2 or bigger? So big balls, of course, they lost their mind over big balls. Nobody really gives a shit anymore about this cancel culture stuff. Kids do stupid stuff all the time. It's okay to say that was stupid. I apologize. I do stupid stuff every single day. Forget about when I was a kid. Thankfully, the best vice presidential pick we've had in years, in decades, maybe in the last 50 years. Dan, it's only been 3 weeks. I don't care. It's J.D. Vance. This guy has big balls too. J.D. Vance goes after this fake, phony fraud, Ro Khanna, who, by the way, was like a central figure in deplatforming Parler, who pretends he's a free speech guy. Ro Khanna is a phony. He wants to know from J.D. Vance, are you going to tell big balls to apologize for saying normalize Indian hate before this rehire? Just asking for the sake of both of us and our kids. Shouldn't say shit like that. Big mistake. Kid apologized. You move on. Here's J.D. I love this guy. Did I not? I'm resisting the urge. I'm resisting. Here's JD. Hey, Ro, for the sake of both of our kids, grow up. Racist trolls on the internet, while offensive, don't threaten my kids. You know what does? A culture that denies grace to people who make mistakes. A culture that encourages congressmen to act like whiny children. He goes on, which is even better. J.D. Vance, I cannot overstate how much I loathe, he says, this emotional blackmail pretending to be concerned. My kids, God willing, will be risk takers. They won't think constantly about whether a flippant comment or a wrong viewpoint will follow them for the rest of their lives. They will tell stupid jokes. They will develop views they later think are wrong or even gross. I made mistakes as a kid, and thank God I grew up in a culture that encouraged me to grow and lean and learn and feel remorse when I screwed up and offer grace when others did. Justin just said it. If he would have said that in an address on Inauguration Day or someone, the world would have heard it. It would have been the new Emancipation Proclamation from cancel culture. Folks, we need more of this, man. This cancel culture shit is out of hand. And for the left to make a scene about big balls is just the denouement of this story of cancel culture. It's ending right now. Listen to me. I mean it. Let me just be, I know we're screwing around with a lot of shit today. Stuff's not funny, though. I've done a lot of stupid shit in my life. A lot. Listen to me. I'm serious. I'm not messing with you. And I mean like really stupid shit. I'm not even going to tell you on the show because I don't want to waste your time. Some stuff that, looking back, I can't believe how dumb it was. A lot of you have done the same thing. You've done really stupid stuff. If we are really going to engage in this fake virtue signaling bullshit for the rest of our lives, where a bunch of 5 to 16-year-olds have to worry about every utterance they've ever made in an internet that's going to scrape all of it, ladies and gentlemen, you might as well burn society to the ground. The only way to stop this is to stop it. I have a call to action to all of you because it's easy for me to give speeches too, but JD means it, and so do I. I would never treat my staff this way, and I'm asking you, small business owners, big business owners, medium-sized business owners, government employers, supervisors, managers, if you got a good employee that's a good human being, and you find out 10 years ago they made a mistake, and you fire and get rid of them, I got news for you. You're part of the problem. Bad people, get rid of them. If he said dumb shit and he's still a dumbass, fire him. That's what meritocracies are about. But if you partake in this, you're the problem too. Don't do it. Sorry, but this is a very sensitive issue because this cancel culture stuff is exactly what the left wants. They want a society like North Korea where everybody's ratting on each other because the only one that never gets ratted on is the government. That's why they're going after Elon because he put this tweet up this weekend. Some of the stuff jointly agreed to by Doge and them. Oh, look at that. Look at the stuff he's been looking at. This is basic stuff. He's like, hey, listen, can we have these payments the government's making have some kind of categorization code? They leave it blank. No one knows what the payments are for. Can we include a rationale for payments so we know what the government's paying people for? He wants to know if we can put a do not pay list. So this is crazy, folks. Elon, he's out of control on this. You believe this? Guys, he doesn't want to pay dead people or terrorist organizations. What? The balls on Elon. Dude, you didn't even see that coming, did you? I just hit Justin right on the arm, right on the left arm. He doesn't want to pay freaking dead people or terrorists. Elon, shame on you. Game of Thrones style. Shame. Folks, they don't care, man. They don't care, the left. Every government payment matters to them. To a terrorist, a dead person, why? Because it's matched by their ability to take your money. And I'll cover this tomorrow. Government payments are taxes, either through the form of inflation. That's why they'll never stop them. The government needs to suck money out of the private economy. If it goes to terrorists or dead people, they don't give a shit. They're trying to create, and I want to really applaud the president here, by the way. President Trump did an interview during the Super Bowl, got a great reception during the Super Bowl. He snapped to attention, looking very presidential. Taylor Swift got booed. That was funny. Sorry, I know I said I wouldn't talk about the Super Bowl because I really don't care. But President Trump did an interview with Brett Baer from Fox. It was a pretty good interview. I'm going to air, I think, the rest of it tonight. Please Listen, the Trump team doesn't need lectures from me, okay? They don't. They won an election, fine. Please do not take this bait. The media is trying to create a schism right now between Elon and Trump because these two, Donald Trump's in charge, there's no doubt about it. But Elon has been an incredible asset in uncovering the deep state piggy bank. Here's Donald Trump answering this question, just one of his best answers I've heard. It's just amazing how he senses they're trying. I'm not saying Brett's doing this. He's talking about other coverage, but it's a good question. And watch how Trump just knocks this out of the ballpark. Check this out.
The people, look, I ran on this, and the people want me to find it. And I've had a great help with Elon Musk, who's been terrific.
Bottom line, you say you trust him.
Trust Elon? Oh, he's not gaining anything. In fact, I wonder how he can devote the time to it. He's so into it. But I told him do that. Then I'm going to tell him very soon, like maybe in 24 hours, to go check the Department of Education. He's going to find the same thing. Then I'm going to go to the military. Let's check the military. We're going to find billions, hundreds of billions of dollars of fraud and abuse. And, you know, the people elected me on that.
Folks, listen, man, I love Donald Trump's first term. That's why I was jumped out to endorse him the minute he ran this time. There's no mystery there. I'm a MAGA guy. Again, we don't agree on every single thing, but most of the agenda, I'm going to tell you as objectively as possible, which is hard. I understand that. This second term, he 100% gets it. He knows exactly what they're doing here. They figure if they can run a commercial, you guys know what they're doing. They're going to try to run commercials in the Palm Beach, D.C. market so Donald Trump sees them, because they know he watches Fox, saying, Donald Trump, how do you feel about Elon taking your job? It's all bullshit. He's not falling for it. You're wasting your money. Elon is going to go from one agency to another, Treasury, the Pentagon, labor, education, and they're going to go through each and every payment. It doesn't matter. You can go to the courts. You're going to lose in the long run. You are going to lose. This is going to get cleaned up. And the FOing, the finding out, has not stopped. I don't know if you caught this weekend in the flurry of good news. Donald Trump pulled a bunch of security clearances on True Social from Joe Biden and others. If Joe Biden has a poor memory and we know was involved in international corrupt activities, we know, why would we let this guy access sensitive information? And this is beautiful too. Pulled the security clearances of Twinkies up in New York, Alvin Bragg and Tish James. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not a small thing. These two corruptocrats, these two life loser zeros, can now not access federal buildings. They don't belong in there. They don't belong in there. You want to go into the FBI headquarters? Sorry, can't do it in New York. You don't belong in there. I told you this was going to be the FA-FO presidency. The FAing already happened. The FOing's happening now. I had a whole bunch more on this, too, I wanted to get to. There's a lot of FOing. I'm going to have to get to it into tomorrow's show. Folks, big announcement today. One more final thing that's important. All you Bongino Army folks out there, I want to thank President Trump for one more really important thing today. They are now starting, as of today, you may have seen it. You're going to find out the details over today. Rumble, the White House is starting an official Rumble account, the Trump White House. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I know Chris, the CEO of Rumble, and all the shareholders and all the Rumble folks out there and the freedom of speech advocates deeply appreciate it too. Thank you, the White House, for standing up for free speech and opening a Rumble account and talking and then walking the walk, not just talking the talk. Big, huge news today. Congratulations, Chris Pavlovsky, for sticking it through. And Rumble's back in Brazil too. He stood his ground and it worked. Thank you for being a part of Rumble. Download the Rumble app. It is free. Please download it today. Make it the #1 app in the world. Just give us a follow when you're there. If you want to watch it on the web, it's Bongino.com, rumble.com/Bongino, rumble.com/Bongino. Please give us a follow on Apple and Spotify as well. See you in the radio show here in Rumble in a little bit. And back here at 11 a.m. tomorrow. See you then.
You just heard The Dan Bongino Show.